Hello, hello, hello. Wherever you are on the glorious world of Earth, I wish you well wherever you are, where you reside on this planet. I'm going to be talking about something that just now struck me in the middle of the night. I'm recording this 1 a.m. in the morning. But hey, 1 a.m. in the morning, it doesn't matter. I noticed something uniquely different between the MCU Thanos and the Thanos who I knew reading comic books as a young child to where I am now, roughly 30 plus years I have of reading comic books. Now, the good aspects or the similarities between the MCU Thanos and a comic book Thanos is first, they are both right intelligent. The the Marvel Comic Universe Thanos is a bona fide genius, and it seemed from what I saw of him in the several movies that he's in that the MCU version of Thanos is also a bona fide genius. Next, the MCU Thanos and the Marvel Comics Thanos love to have hired henchmen. They love to have their hired guns. Neither version of Thanos, for the most part, did not like to get their hands dirty by doing tasks that they considered beneath them, such as needlessly getting to fight, such as negotiating with other individuals for certain artifacts or objects. That's what they have in common. Those several tasks I listed, what they have in common. Also, what they have in common, there was powerful individuals in their respective universe. The Marvel comic universe was an individual who you did not want to toy with. You did not want to be on his bad side because you know he had the power to back it up or to discipline you. The comic book universe, Thanos, is the same. You did not want to get on his bad side. You did not want to aggravate him or make him angry because he will easily vanquish you whatever way he deemed necessary. The next thing they had in common, the MCU version, the MCU version of Thanos was a powerhouse, a physical, raw power. Hand to hand, very few individuals could go toe to toe with Thanos. Thor in the comic books had trouble with Thanos. Thor in the MCU universe had trouble with Thanos. If Thor gonna have trouble with Thanos, you know the Hulk is gonna have trouble. You know Captain America gonna have trouble because Thor, thanks to his majestic hammer, Mjolnir, has a more diversified power set than the Hulk or Captain America. So both versions of Thanos was physical, raw power that you did not want to touch, aggravate, or make angry. Neither one. Now, here's the major difference that I noticed between the MCU version of Thanos and, excuse me, the Marvel. Sorry, I have a. I guess that's why I woke up so. I guess that's why I woke up so early, because I have a slight cough. Anyway, here's the major difference between the MCU version of Thanos and the comic book version of Thanos. The comic book version of Thanos, yes, both are beings of immense power and strength. The MCU version of Thanos, he did not mind getting in a hand-to-hand combat battle. You saw it when he was fighting the Hulk hand-to-hand. You saw it when he was fighting the Avengers hand-in-hand. The comic book version of Thanos, he don't like going hand-to-hand combat. He loves using his energy manipulating power. He loves using his force fields to stop you from hitting him. Even though he probably was more of a powerful physical specimen, he still did not want you to get near him. It was almost like the comic book version of Thanos had a phobia. He did not want to be touched. The MCU version of Thanos, he loved being touched. He loved going toe-to-toe with people, as you saw. He loved putting his big purple hands on you and ripping your neck off. He was more of a physical presence like the Hulk. He did not mind fighting you. The comic book version of Thanos, he don't want to fight you. He don't want to fight you much. He would say, okay, I'm tired of dealing with you. So he would use his powerful energy blast to either knock you out, which he didn't mind, or what he really wanted to do, to vanquish you by total disintegration. The Marvel Comics version of Thanos loved using, number one, his energy powers. Number two, his force fields. And number three, his transportation device to get around. All throughout the Avengers movie, I think we saw him on his magical chair a couple times, moving around. But when he wanted to deal with somebody, he would get off his lofty chair and go beat you into the ground willingly. As I stated, the Marvel comic version of Thanos, he did not like touching people. He loved wielding his powerful force fields that even Thor's magical hammer had trouble penetrating, where even Hawks and his thunderous hits had trouble penetrating, where even a powerhouse like the Silver Surfer could not break through. The MCU movie version of Thanos, I don't think he had any energy manipulation powers of his own. Now, I don't know if there was any scenes where he made an energy blast or whatever to vanquish his opponents. But if he did do it, it was when he had that gauntlet on his hand. If he used any energy blast, it was because he had that gauntlet on and he was wielding the power of the gauntlets. The Marvel comic version of Thanos, he did not need no fancy dancy gauntlet. He had the energy manipulating powers inborn. He had the force field generating powers inborn. If you look through the comic books, you will see time after time Thanos has erect force fields around him. You will see time after time before he get into a physical altercation with anyone, he would try to subdue them quickly with a powerful energy blast. So you see, my point is, was the MCU version of Thanos a weaker version of Thanos? If the MCU version of Thanos met the comic book version of Thanos in our fictional world or our what if universe, who you think would win? I will leave that up to you to decide. Tell me in my comments section, ladies and gentlemen, which Thanos is the superior version? The MCU movie version or the comic book version? Once more, leave a comment. Which Thanos was the better, more powerful entity? Leave the comment. If you would like to subscribe to the channel, be my guest and subscribe, and hear my intake on different comic books, heroes, and villains, and why we adore them, why we respect them, and why we fear certain characters in the comic books. If you would like to share this with any other people who know about comic book theory and comic book history, please share it on any social media platform. Thank you for stopping by, and until the next time. Or like Stan Lee said, may he rest in peace. Excelsior.